Hello, everybody. Rob Smith here. I'm delighted to be joined with Shanelle the Nightmare Dyer ahead of her UFC debut on the London card. Shanelle, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Right, we'll just jump straight into it. You've got a big fight coming up. You're fighting Ravena Oliveria. So first of all, what do you make of her as an opponent, and how do you think you match up with her?
I think stylistically, he's a perfect opponent for me. Like her fighting style, I think she's more of a striker. I don't think she's a grappler. Obviously, I'm a striker. I do my best work on the front foot, and then she fights on the back foot. So I think her style plays into my style perfectly.
And your opponent, Ravena, she has struggled since signing with the UFC. She's gotten 0-2 in the first two fights. And when you look at that record in the UFC, do you believe that that could add some extra pressure to her because she could potentially fighting for her career come into this fight?
Yeah, definitely. Like she's the type of opponent. I said before, she fights on the back foot, but when she's desperate, she does wild shots. She does like wild jumping knees, jumping punches, like weird stuff like that in the late end of the round when she knows she's losing a fight. So by all means, she might go out first second of this fight like doing some madness just because she wants to get finished. She wants to win the fight. She wants to stay in UFC as we all do. So yeah, I'm ready for everything basically.
And one thing that stands out about your opponent is her ability to finish fights. Every fight that she's won has been via a finish. So that must excite you when you got up at this fight thinking, okay, I'm going to be fighting someone who actually chases the finish, not someone who's just going to try and like lay and prey on me. I'm fighting someone who, like me, chases the finish.
Yeah, like, I'm an excited fighter. I always say I'm a big fan of MMA and UFC. Like I want to watch exciting fights. I want to be an exciting fighter. I don't want to be a fighter where people be like, "Oh, Chanel's on. Let me go for a toilet break." I would no. I want people to actually watch me fight because I put on exciting fighters. As I said before, that I got signed because I am an exciting fighter. Win, lose, or draw. I think we're gonna have a great fight. I think honestly, I think there's levels to this game, and I think I'm above her level. I just need to go out on the day and show that. And I think her style is perfect for me to go for finish.
As far as UFC debuts go, it couldn't be a bigger sort of a dream debut for yourself. You know, you're debuting in London, your home
Yeah.
city. And so how does this feel to make your debut in such a card in the sports premier promotion?
Yeah, making my debut in London, it's madness. It's literally surreal. I've been dreaming about this moment literally ever since I started MMA. Like, I went to the last five UFC London cards saying, kept telling everyone, "Oh, I'm gonna make my UFC debut on this card. March, I'm gonna make my UFC debut in the card," and it's actually coming to fruition. It's actually mental. It's literally down the road. Like I don't even have to take a plane. I can take an Uber down the road. I'm literally fighting in my home crowd. It's sick.
And, you know, the card's stacked with some of the biggest and best names in UK MMA, like it always is. So, what do you believe you have to do to stand out from the rest and potentially get one of these 100 grand new bonuses that we've got?
I just have to be me. Like, there's no pressure in it. I know what my fighting style is, and I know if I fight to my capability, and if I fight like Shanelle Dyer does fight, then I'm gonna get that bonus regardless. 25K or even 100K. I'm always in either fight of the nights, or I always come up with some mad moments in my fight. I'm always like a fight. Every time I fight, there's always a pivotal moment where everyone's like, okay, that's Shanelle Dyer. There's always a picture or a highlight reel or a finish or something. Like everyone, I get people talking regardless. So there's no pressure on me. I'm opening up the card, but yeah, be there from the first fight. Promise.
And you're entering the UFC with a serious pedigree in your striking, and all fans need to do is look at that head kick finish from PFL Newcastle to see that. And do you believe your style favors the UFC because they like promoting fighters who have that sort of exciting striking style? Like you said, you got signed off a loss, so I think that just shows how much the UFC enjoy and like your style. So you
Mm.
think your style favors the UFC?
Yeah, it goes to show that I lost my contenders fight and I still got signed because of how excited I am and how much eyes I bring the sport as well. Kind of think the UFC strawweight division needs a little bit of a revamp. We need more exciting fights. We need stars in UFC strawweight division. That's why they bring me on board because I know that I'm going to be a star one day. So they want to give me the platform for me to show out basically. So yeah.
And you train out of one of the best gyms in the country, if not the best in GB top team. You've got so many good fighters. Obviously, head coach with Brad Pickett, one of the icons of UK MMA. You know, Nick Bagley won the belt over the weekend. You've got
Yeah.
Giovanni, we've got Maya.
Yeah.
You've got so many title fights coming up, and obviously you're training in amongst that. You've got Nathaniel Wood on the card with you. Just what does it
Lonnie's fighting
mean?
main event this
Oh, of
weekend.
course, yeah, oh, bloody hell, of course, I completely forgot Lonnie. But wait, credit to Lonnie Kavanagh, by the way.
Yeah.
That takes some serious
Yeah.
guts. Just what is it like for yourself getting to train with some of these amazing bodies like you've got a GB top team?
training at GB Top Team is amazing. Like the gym is popping right now. We've only been open about 4 years, but we're doing stuff like gym's been open up for decades and haven't been doing what GB Top Team's doing. Like, yeah, we're flying at the moment. Everyone always asks me, who's my inspiration, who's my role models. But every single, it's hard to say like celebrities when every second I walk through GB Top Team doors, I'm like, he's fighting for Cage Warriors belt. He's fighting for Cage Warriors belt. He's just won the Cage Warriors belt. He's headlining a UFC event. Like Brad Pitt, he beat Demetrius Johnson. He became UFC #4 in the world. Like I'm inspired every single day. Every time I walk into GB Top Team, like you want to surround yourself with people that you want to be and you aspire to be, and GB Top Team's that place.
And I want to talk about your experience on Dana White's Contender Series because you famously earned your contract through that show. And so, first of all, what was your experience like on that show? Because obviously, it's fairly new in the sort of modern era of MMA. So, what was your experience like on Dana White's Contender Series?
Yeah, on Contender Series is weird because obviously it's in the Apex and I got the privilege of fighting in PFR beforehand and I've been blessed to be part of amazing cards. I've been fighting in front of thousands of people and for me like I thrive off the energy, the crowd, the people. Like it hypes me up, the motivation. I remember walking out and it was just literally just silence. It was a little bit weird. I could hear the commentators and stuff like that. It's real, but everyone's in the same in the same bracket when you fight in the contender series anyways. You're there, everything's stripped down. You're there to show who you are as a fighter, how much heart you have, and there's no glitz or glamour. It's literally if you're a great fighter you're gonna get through regardless. But yeah, it's fighting in Vegas is one of the dream venues you want to fight in anyways, and under the UFC banner, yeah, it's dreams.
And as you mentioned earlier, you notably won a contract despite losing your fight. That's how good the fight was. So were you surprised at all when you saw that Dana White said, "Oh, Chanel, come over here as well"? But that's because like that doesn't usually happen on Contender Series. When you lose, it's like almost like you'll get another chance, or in some case you might not get another shot. So how surprised were you when Dana said, "I'll have you as well, Chanel"?
The whole experience was absolutely mental. I remember straight after the fight, obviously I lost the fight, and I was a little bit depressed. Like Dana came over to me in the ring in the cage. I'm sorry, and then he was just, oh, great fight, really, really great fight. And I was still, my head was still in the clouds. I was literally just like, oh, thank you. Like, who are you? Kind of. And then obviously I had to get stitches and obviously health and safety stitches. And I thought the whole time that I didn't get signed. Like I messed up my opportunity. I was like depressed and it was like scrolling through Instagram and just like, yeah, it was basically like my mind didn't want to process that I basically lost and that my future is basically over. I mean, I remember I was in the hospital of my coach, he was like having the most serious conversation ever on the phone, and he looked at me, and then somebody texted me, he's like, "You got the contract." I looked at him, and he just nodded, and I just start burst out crying because like all my hard work. It was literally like a movie scene. My coach started crying, we're in the hospital crying, and the doctors are like to me, "Are you in pain?" I'm like, "No, no, it's fine. It's happy tears." It's like, yeah, it's dreams, man. It's sick. I didn't even know I got signed until like an hour after.
Oh wow, really? That's like that must have
Yeah,
been that's insane. I think
my
that's
emotions was like, yeah,
those are the sort of moments we need in this sport because I think it's nice to see the hard work is rewarded
mm,
because like I said you put on an all-time classic in that fight and I wanted to
yeah,
speak about I've seen a recent bit on social media you've had a bit of back and forth with your opponent from Contender Series
yeah.
Carla Foro because she has tested positive for banned substances. So first of all, what was your initial reaction when you heard that news?
No, I heard that she pulled out of her fight. She's meant to fight like a week after me. I heard she pulled out a fight, and I was just like, oh, imagine it's because she got popped for drugs or something. And she actually did. I woke up, saw the notification. I was like, oh my day, she actually did. That is mad. And then obviously I put out a post that she's a cheat. And then I think she started. Then she saw this my story, and she didn't reply until her management started replying and reposting stuff. Then she replied, blah blah. I didn't even read what they were saying. But regardless if it affect my fight or not, like you're a cheat. You're a cheat at the end of the day. It says that the band stoppers that was in our system was there not by like accidents. Like is the matter was in the system was like that you actually been taking it regularly. So at the end of the day, you're cheating. And then when the investigation closes, regardless if it's to do with my fight or not, I don't care. If you're a cheat, you're a cheat at the end of the day. Like, we don't have that in MMA.
And so does this news also make you question the legitimacy of her win against you? Because I know it kind of it puts a whole asterisk on her whole career now in a way when you test positive because it's hard to prove when you've started taking it and when you didn't.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Like obviously when the investigation is done, like I'm gonna get my people to see if she was actually on it in my fight, and we'll see what happens after that. But it puts a stain in your career. Like especially you just got signed by UFC. Like obviously you won the fight, you got signed by UFC, you're a good fighter, but then that stain like straight away you got popped, and you're under investigation. That just puts a dampen in your career, and then we don't want that type of stigma and that type of role models in the UFC. Like people probably looking up to you. We just don't want you as a role model like that.
I know that was probably a fight that down the line you would like to have gotten back, but obviously now with this news, is that not really a fight that you would entertain anymore?
It depends how the investigation goes. To be fair, obviously she'll probably fail it because it's there at the end of the day. But yeah, if she does fail it, like I don't know, like whatever the UFC wants, they'll get.
I want to speak about your life outside anime for a little bit. I know you're a big anime fan and a big anime watcher. And as someone
Yeah,
who is an anime novice, all I've watched is Dragon Ball Z, the original ones. What would
yeah.
you recommend for me to watch?
Oh no.
I know I'm a
You
novice.
know what? I've actually counted. I've watched about 300 plus anime. It depends what you want, to be fair. It's like my number one's Naruto. If you want to get deep, Attack on Titan is like amazing, but it's really, really deep. One Piece, I always recommend One Piece, but there's about 1,300 episodes if you actually want to get deep into that. Jujutsu Kaisen's popping off right now. That's what everyone's watching, Demon Slayer. But yeah,
And
there's
how,
so much you have to watch.
I know that's the thing with it. I think I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like Dragon Ball because I played the games when I was younger, and I've kind of I watched the show. But so, and how much has your love of anime shaped your MMA career? Like, when you growing up watching these sort of shows, and obviously there's a lot of sort of martial arts combat style in these sort of shows. Did that sort of influence your career at all?
Yeah, definitely. Like, remember when I was watching Naruto when I was younger? There's this one character, Rock Lee. He had like no powers. He used to do something called taijutsu. He was basically punching and kicking, like Thai boxing. And I remember from young, I just wanted to be a real life anime character, and the closest thing you can find is fighting. So I always that channel my energy, and it's given me so much inspiration. I remember like 13, 14 watching that shows, and they basically shaped my life. Shaped my life for other people's watching. I don't know, like Disney Channel shows. I still watch Disney Channel shows, but the deep knowledge you get from anime and the inspiration. Like for example, watching Naruto, he basically became he was the most hated in his village, and he basically became like the king of the world by then. Just telling people never to give up, and then if you get pushed down, then just like keep going. I remember once I was fighting and I was getting beaten up. I wasn't getting beaten up, I was tired. And I was remembering, I was just like, Naruto said never give up, and it gave me power. I was at 15, and then I ended up winning the fight. But yeah, it motivates you, man. There's so many great quotes from anime.
And outside of anime, is there any other sort of interesting hobbies that MMA fans might not know that you have?
Uh, enough. I was just really sporty, to be fair. Like when I was younger, I used to do football. I used to do ballet when I was younger. I used to like be proper of like part of a ballet school. And I had to do like exams and stuff. I used to do like tap dance and jazz dance and oh, it's so weird. Street dancing, athletics. I did everything. I can draw, but I only like drawing manga. To be fair, that ties in with anime. So I can read Japanese, but that ties with anime as well. She's
Oh
nice.
wow, okay, that's a good skill to have. I feel
Yeah.
like from going from ballet to MMA is such a
No.
contrast. I think.
Ballet helps, like the help because I fight on my toes. And I was like, oh, how do you fight on your toes all the time? I'm like, yeah, because I did ballet when I was like 6.
Also, so the key
Used
to
to
good
it.
footwork,
Yeah.
young kids start doing your ballet early.
Start doing
That's
ballet
the
and
message.
gymnastics because like you asked me why I can head kick people like out of nothing. It's because I did ballet when I was younger.
Chanel, I love it. And my final question is, what can UFC fans expect from your March 21st, and what is your official prediction for your fight?
You can expect a Shanelle Dyer fight, a Shanelle Dyer classic, explosive fight of the night contender as per usual, and you can finish a head kick KO end of the first, maybe the second if I feel up to it.
Chanel, I absolutely love that prediction. I love the confidence. I just want to thank you for your time. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you, and I wish you the best of luck for March
Thank
21st.
you. Thanks for having me.